Right, we've got, who's that on the line?
It's Rob.
Rob, and, are you a doctor?
I'm a final year medical student. I'll be a doctor in 2 months, touch wood.
That's close enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, where do you study? Do you want to give, more details, or do you want to remain anonymous as you're calling into...
I study at Barts Hospital.
Alright, great. So, why do, GPs, sometimes put, their finger up, a man's anus?
To see what's there. You know, if you've got hemorrhoids, if you've got an enlarged prostate, you know, it's either that or they stick up a big tube and have a look up with a light.
What?
And it's easier to do that.
Now, are you, dumbing this down for us, or are you going to fail your medical exams by saying stick up a big tube with a light?
I'm dumbing it down.
Okay, come on then. We're all intelligent people here, and Carl. So you tell us what's that called?
It's called a sigmoidoscope.
Right.
Nice. That was a clever test, wasn't it, Rick?
12-inch long.
Yeah.
12-inch long tube I can put up there.
So, Carl, would you prefer that or a finger?
Well, so do they sort of do the finger first, and then, I mean, at what point do they say, hang on, we need a light here? I mean...
It's normally if there's something wrong.
But, so if I go then, say if I go to this well-known clinic, right, and they go, yeah, the art's good and that, yeah, finger, there you go, and then they go, hang on, I'm gonna go and get me light and tube. I could start worrying then because they've sort of found something.
And they're not likely to go straight in with the tube. They'll probably send you off some tests first.
Well, Carl, there's nothing. But you go to these places to put your mind at rest and to know where you are with your health. I mean, it's not that you go along. That's what most people worry about. They think that because I'll go along and they'll find something. Well, one, that's illogical. It doesn't heighten the fact they'll find something because you go along. And two, if they do find something, it's a good job you went along. I mean, I'm a hypocrite because I don't go to the doctor, but you know, I've had that
Carl,
done.
You should be concerned if, when they shine the little light in your ear, it comes out the other side of your ear. No, the other ear comes right out the other side. That's when you should be worried.
But Rob, right, you said then, if they find something, they send me off for some tests. Why can't I just have the test without that and cut out the middleman? Do you know what I mean?
Because you're wasting lots of money.
There's hundreds of tests they could do, and they could do every test, and they could all come back with nothing, or they could do the finger up there and send you for the 3 tests you need to find out what's wrong with you.
But in this day and age, with all the technology and that, and like brainy doctors and all that, the only way to find out is sticking a finger up there.
What are you worried about, Carl? Is it fundamentally that this doctor who's has done 6 years medical training, is it embarrassing to have a man's finger up your ass?
I just don't understand how you can get round to that without...
But what don't you like? Is it fundamentally you don't like anything up your ass, or is it the fact that it's a man's finger up there?
I don't like going to the doctors. It makes me nervous, because I think if anyone searches you long enough, they're going to find a fault with you, right? And especially if they're going that far into you. They're going to find something. And...
Probably not.
Well, you know, I just don't... I don't know how to get round to that sort of... that point where you get a... What do you talk to the doctor about? He's like, alright, nice day. Strap your trousers.
He goes, he says, I'm gonna just,
Most people just shut up and let you do it, and then breathe a sigh of relief when you say there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But is that at the end of the test, or is that the first thing he does?
It's the last thing.
So that trousers up out the door.
Because he knows it ends conversation. He knows it's a bit of a faux pas. The doctor says, "Oh, I better not kick off with the finger up the arse." What I do is I'll start on with the the head, and then we're then go, "Oh, one final thing, Mr. Pilkington."
So Rob,
he drops his keys and he goes, "Pick them up." And as you bend over,
will you be doing this, Rob? Is this what you're like open to do? You do all these.
I'll have to do it at some point. All doctors do it at some point, no matter what they specialise in.
So the first one, is there another doctor there to sort of make sure you're doing it right?
Not dentists.
No, but do you know...
Dentists aren't doctors anyway.
No. But do you know what I mean? Like, normally it's like a co-pilot will have someone with them for the first one. So when you put your first finger in...
Yeah.
Will someone be there going, right, you just want to move to the left of it?
I've already done it.
Have you?
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's the thing with a student, you're learning. So you get people teaching you
and you learn on
these things.
Can I just point out, Rob, I think I'm right in assuming that you have a glove on.
Yeah.
And there's lubrication.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt.
No.
There you go. What are you worried about, Carl?
Who's this person who everyone's testing on in your class?
It's not one person.
One person. There's like, when a patient comes in and they've got a problem, your boss, the consultant, he does his finger up, and if he finds something, he goes to the patient, is it alright if the student has a feel as well? Then the student puts on a glove, puts the leave on the glove, and sticks his finger up and sees what he comes out with.
Rob, I wish you could see Carl's face. I mean, his face when you said, and he says, can this fella have a go as well? He looked horrified. That he thought it was a free-for-all, like there's a queue of people trying on gloves and going, let's have a go. That looks good up there. What have you found?
No, but I mean, how come you had to sort of... Is it not something you could test on yourself rather than waiting for other people to come in? Because then, you know...
It's an awkward position to get to, really, isn't it?
Well, but you can have a good rummage then without feeling too awkward, but to sort of have a go on your first patient when you don't really know what you're looking for anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Never really thought about it.
Because you don't... If you've never done it before, you pop your finger in there, and you've got to sort of look, you've got to have an expression on your face like you know what you're finding.
Well, they can't see what you look... They can't see your face.
There. You got the big boss consultant man going, now move your finger there and you'll probably feel this. Because he's just done it. He knows what's there.
Well, what? Oh, so he's already had a go, he's had a feel, and he's going, right, if you feel to the right, that's the conglomeracy or whatever.
The conglomeracy, yeah. His conglomeracy is in perfect working order.
Well, that's... I'm still...
Thank you, Rob. I'm sorry you had to go through this. Carl is probably the worst patient you'll ever encounter in your medical career. Good luck with your finals, and thanks very much.
And do you know any female doctors who do this? Or?
Thank you. XFM 104.9. Thank you.
Josh Rags, it's the night time on XFM 104.9. Steve Merchant, Ricky Gervais, Karl Pilkington, and is it time?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
Right then. So there's this monkey, right? In Canada. It's in a zoo in Toronto, I think it is. His name's Pascal, right? And what happened was all the people in the zoo sort of said, you know, what can we do? Sort of spice the day up a bit. Right?
Yeah.
So they left.
Embellishing. No way this is a news story.
Let him do the news.
Okay.
So they
Any
left.
dates?
Just let him read the news.
Well,
I would interrupt Moira Stewart.
It was about 2 weeks ago.
No, because she always says today, so you know it's news. She doesn't say, right, there was a monkey, right?
All right.
Well, in Canada,
Come on,
right?
mate, just finish
Okay.
the beer all night.
A couple of weeks ago in this zoo in Canada.
Right. Jesus.
They got a camcorder.
Right.
And they said, let's leave it for the monkey to have a play with, right? So anyway, they passed it around,
Won a BAFTA.
and a couple of chimps and that were rubbish at it. They were like filming the floor and all that, and the fingers were always in shot and stuff like that, right? But anyway, there was this one chimp called Pascal, right? Who
Annoys me that you call them monkeys, though. They're not monkeys, they're apes.
he was a dab hand at it, right? He was like filming stuff, really good shots, you know, sort of nice mood and that. He used the lighting properly and all the rest of it.
No, he didn't!
This is the news. What are you talking about? This is the news.
God,
So
Steve
anyway.
is so annoying. You know it annoys me so much. Things like that. He was a dab hand. He was doing really good shots. It really annoys me.
Let's hear the news.
Anyway, right, so he started, at night, like when the zookeepers went home, he started filming, like, other monkeys on the go, like, whilst they were at it, right? And he was filming them and what have you.
The Ron Jeremy of the zoo.
You know it's going to end up on the web.
So anyway, the zookeepers came in the next day and it's like, let's see what shots he's got. Anyway, he's got all this, like, you know, all these monkeys at it and what have you. So,
Oh, yeah, this is, honestly, you don't know what this is doing to me, Steve. Can I stop him now?
So they thought, like, actually there's a few monkeys who aren't at it enough. Do you know what I mean? They have problems, what have you. So let's give them the videos.
That is so untrue. This is so untrue. It's so untrue that it was filmed by a monkey.
So
It's
what
so
happened then,
untrue.
right?
Rick, I don't know who to believe.
Oh, Carl, you're talking so much shit again. You must know that's not true. There's no way.
A load of tapes out.
Look at me, don't keep talking, look at me.
Yeah.
You must know that's not true.
Can we just hear the end of this news?
You had to go at me last week because I didn't have the full story. I've got the full story, you're still not happy.
There is no way that, by chance, what should we do? Let's give him a camcorder, that could happen. Right. He then films him at it, that might happen. It might happen, but I don't think he'd keep the camera still. Two, they go, hold on, this is good still, this is good shit, this porn's good shit.
Anyway,
look at that, he's got a lovely shot, yeah.
So
this is ridiculous.
Let me just recap, because I lost my way there. So the monkey has filmed the monkey porn, and now they're showing it to the other monkeys.
Is he directing? Could you hear him saying stuff? Could you go...
It's just like, you know, Chimp Pimp 1, 2 and 3 and all the rest of it, right? But anyway, so they've got all these other tapes, because what happened was, they said he's quite good at this.
Oh,
and the animals are happy having him around because he's not a human, he's just one of the gang, do you know what I mean? So they started putting him in with other things like, you know, ostriches.
Right.
And
shit.
And you know they have a problem with pandas in Japan.
Yeah.
They've sent him out there, filming a bit of... Where are you going?
Honestly, you really annoy me. There's no way this is happening. It's
just hear the
absolute. Why can't he just find a real story about a monkey?
Let's hear
the end is really that he's going to China, he's filming the pandas and whatever.
No, he's not! They wouldn't send a monkey director! They would not send a monkey director!
Anyway, Rockbusters, Carl. Yeah, should we get the ball rolling? Let me just find the gifts here, the little treats. We've got the album from the Coral, you know what I think about that. We've got Comfort in Sound Feeder. Well, it's just a novelty record, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got, on DVD, more great comedy moments, favourite clips from the best of contemporary BBC comedy. We've got Partridge on the front there, we've got one of the guys from Red Dwarf, and
brilliant.
Good stuff on there. Smash Hits, the reunion, more great 80s tunes, Catch a Goo Goo's on there, plus some stuff...
Too Shy?
It is Too Shy.
Yeah.
Actually, let me see if you can guess which one's from Tiffany.
Well, yeah, I know it, the only one.
I think we're alone now.
Yeah, I think we're alone, yeah.
Mel and Kim?
Respectable?
Mm-hmm. Human League?
That'd be... Oh, wow, what would they have got, Don't You Want Me?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Lies Take On Me?
Yep,
yeah.
Well done. Madness?
Baggy Trousers.
Of course. Kim Wilde?
Kids in America?
Yeah, so there's just all those treats. If you like a song from an 80s band, it's probably on there.
Yeah, okay.
Plus we've also got on VHS Graham Norton, some kind of best of compilation from his TV show. So there are the...
Hold on, is it the one where he talks to sort of female gay icons and looks at the internet? Because that's my favourite one. Right, there you go, let's do Rockbusters.
Right,
email only, of course.
Yeah. Email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you know the answer. Right, first one. Bit of a cryptic clue, if you haven't heard it before.
Well, not cryptic, we're on. What is Carl thinking?
If you go into France by boat, I'd get your fags on there, because it's a lot cheaper.
Imagine Bob Holness. Sorry, we're out of time. Sorry, your minute's up. You've won nothing. I was reading that question out.
Sorry, right. So what's the...
Well, let's do it again. I want it to be exactly the same, word perfect. I bet you it will change all over the place. He's lost it.
Go to France, buy yourself a boat with fags are cheaper.
Okay, fingers on the buzzers. You've only got 10 seconds to win the gold run. Okay, first up. Here, I'll tell you what, no, seriously, if you're thinking of going to France, well don't, because go on the ferry, get the fags there, because it's cheaper. Go on.
Right, so that one again. If you want to buy some fags, you're going over to France on the boat, get them on there, because you'll save a few quid. BF.
BF.
Right? BF.
Okay.
Right, the second one. This little foreign cafe is growing its own steak.
This little foreign cafe is growing its own steak.
Yeah. This little foreign cafe is growing its own steak.
Go on.
D.
All right.
Right.
Okay.
And the last one.
Is that part of it?
Hang on.
He's the best.
The Jamaican fella might have screamed this on the Titanic.
What?
The Jamaican fella might have screamed this on the Titanic.
Yeah.
What's it start with?
It's CD. That one.
Jamaican fella might have screamed this on the Titanic. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
So we'll get Rockbusters out of the way. Have we got a winner?
Yeah, come on then. See, it worries me that we've had very few entries. I think that even your mental fans aren't getting these, which is really worrying. They must be terrible clues this week.
Alright, well...
Has anyone got them right, Steve?
I think there's just one guy, yeah, who I suspect has won in the past.
Well,
There we are.
so what?
Right, the first one. If you go out of France by boat, you might as well buy your fags when you're on that, because you'll get them a lot cheaper.
Brilliant.
Right?
Yeah.
BF,
Yeah.
buy it ferry. Right? That's like,
What?
buy on ferry.
What?
Buy on
What's Brian Ferry? What's that? Is that a band?
What?
What is it? I don't know what it is.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry? What's that got to do with buying on a ferry, though?
Just because it's quite close to it. Buy on, buy on ferry.
What?
Buy on ferry.
Sorry, what?
That's the
What's your
first one.
first language?
The second one.
That's rubbish. That doesn't count.
No, it's not.
Brian Ferry.
Brian Ferry, buy on Ferry.
There's this little foreign cafe. It's growing its own steak. That's Delamitri. The third one.
What? Sorry, what? What is that? What is that? Delamitri.
Delhi is a little foreign cafe.
Yeah?
A meat tree and that.
A meat tree! A meat tree! What were the initials for that?
just D for that.
Just D for that?
Yeah.
So not DA?
So you didn't even give him a chance to get the group?
Well, they got it.
Well, no.
No, they didn't. Right, it's the end. Go on, right. Go on.
Delhi meat tree?
Delhi meat tree. One word. D. Or any letter.
They're growing their own meat.
M's in it. Go on. Okay, so Bayern, I love Bayern Ferry. And
Can I just point out, Rick?
Oxford Music was brilliant.
Can I just-
I love Oxford Music. Go on.
Can I just point out, Rick, that we've had
David Bowie?
Delhi meat tree.
Yeah.
I don't see why necessarily Aidan, who emailed in, why he doesn't get to win, because he emailed in dire steaks. Seems to me just as valid, as far as I can tell, but Delhi meat tree it is.
And the last one, if there was a Jamaican fella on the Titanic...
I'm looking forward to this. With a little bit of fear.
Jamaican fella, if he was on the Titanic, he probably would have screamed this.
Yeah.
That's Christ de Burgh.
Oh! I don't know what to do. Stunning.
So who's the winner?
I'm not going to give it to anyone. I just don't... I
So
think-
what's the Jamaican bit got to do with it?
It's the D. Just Christ de Burgh.
Say it again.
No, I think they've worked it out now.
Say it again.
Christ de Burgh.
And who's that?
What?
Who's that?
Who's what?
Who's Christ de Burgh?
Chris de Burgh. Who's the winner, Steve?
do you know what? I'm going to give it to Aidan, because he just treated you with nothing but contempt. Steve Martin emailed in again. He got the first two, and then the last one he just emailed, I neither know nor care about this answer. I'm tempted to give him each one.
Do you know what you've done there, don't you?
Go on.
You've put the nail in the coffin of Rockbusters. I warned you for 3 weeks, and you sort of bucked your ideas up for a little while. But Christ de
Those
Burgh,
are the worst you've ever done.
the worst. Delamitri. So and didn't it just put D, and then Bayern Ferry. Bayern Ferry. Bayern Ferry.
So. And Rockbusters, Steve, if you've got a better competition, then we'll do yours. That's fine. Do you know what I mean? If that's what you want to do, we'll do. What did you want to do?
No, I was just wondering whether we should perhaps not do a quiz at all, rather than do that piece of rubbish. Might be better to have nothing. Might be better just to have silence during that part of the show than have Rockbusters.
How
I don't
about
know.
If
We should discuss it off
if I
air.
give you the clues and that, and if you think they sound rubbish, we're not doing it.
Well, I know that. I guarantee they're going to sound rubbish. All right, let's make it the last Rockbusters then. This is the last Rockbusters.
Well, it depends. This is it. Okay, this is if it's good, you get a reprieve. It's all about this. Okay.
Okay.
Go on then. Let's do Rockbusters then.
Oh, we're doing it now.
Should we play a record and do it after that?
Do it after. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the prizes, and then we'll come back with the with clues.
Because I've dug up that REM track,
Excellent.
so it's an interactive show.
Okay, we've got the best summer holiday album ever. What we got on there? It's got
Brilliant.
Elvis versus Junkie XL. That's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Holly Valance is on there.
Yeah.
Laz Ketchup. It's all the stuff that the XFM listener is craving. A
yeah.
tribute to the Ramones album. We got Red Hot Chili Peppers are on there. Metallica. Street Legal from Bob Dylan. That's nice.
Brilliant.
Did you just buy that in the 4 for £20 from HMV deal? Fair enough. Once
That's
again,
a good album.
The Talons of Weng Chiang, a Doctor Who classic.
Yeah.
And there's something for the XFM listener. 8 Mile on DVD.
I
as
thought
well.
that was nice, that film. That was the last bit was funny. It's a good film.
Right, do you know we've chatted about charities before, haven't we?
Sure. Yeah.
Done a lot of stuff on that, right? I was coming back from Manchester, right? Got off the train at Euston.
Yeah.
Right? Off the train, walking through the busy bit and stuff. There's this fella stood there, right? Good charity worker.
Yeah.
Right? Nice looking fella. He's got his suit on, the tie and everything, quite respectable and that, right? Look down at his bucket. All money's been put in the bucket and that,
Yeah.
right? On the front of the bucket, right? It says collecting for the homeless at Christmas. Now, why can't they do that?
What, the homeless?
The homeless people. Why is some fella taking his time out, right? His own time where he could be at home. Why?
Some of us have got homes to go to.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know what I mean?
What, do you think just give them the buckets?
Well, what are the homeless people doing whilst he's doing that? Is what I'm saying. What have they got on the timetable?
Cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman.
What would prevent a homeless person and an entrepreneurial or homeless person just getting a bucket and writing that on there themselves?
Could I suggest something? Hunger, some drug addiction, traumas, often mental illness. Just possibly too depressed to get up, put a suit on, and go to Euston Station with a nice bucket with some writing on it.
And then, right, I was thinking about that, right, and I was walking down the street in London with Suzanne. Saw a little homeless. Well, I didn't see the homeless bloke, right. I saw a leg,
Right.
sticking out of a doorway. Thought, here we go, right. Walked past it, right. You're not going to believe this.
Go on.
Homeless
Yeah.
Chinese fella. I've never seen one of them. No, I'm not having a go, right? But have you ever seen? Do you know what I mean? That was a shock.
I
to me.
really don't think I have. I think he's got me there. I hate to say it, but I must say I can't remember ever seeing a homeless Chinese person.
Weird, isn't it? I actually said, I was walked past and I said to Suzanne, "Did you see that?" She went, "What?" I said, "Just look back there." She said, "What?" I said, "That homeless fella. Look back at him." She said, "What?" I said, "He's Chinese." And she said, "Yeah, good point."
Good point. Of course she did.
She said that to shut you up.
She didn't want to get into a conversation with you.
Rick, it's that time again. It's what the whole world is waiting for now.
Is it
every
Monkey
week.
News?
It is Monkey News. Please perform live the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee, that's monkey news, you.
There we go.
Right then, well, got an email from John. You know, if you've got any monkey news going on in your area,
Let us know.
God, amazing.
but there's a TV channel in Moscow, right? And I think they had a bit of bad luck or something, a lot of redundancies and that, right? And whoever was in charge of it got a bit mental and got rid of loads of people, right?
Yeah.
And they come in the next day and they were like, "Right, are we ready to go live?" and that. And someone comes running in with a clipboard saying, we haven't got any people left, right, to present.
Such nonsense.
Right, tell you what. Right, okay, carry on.
So he goes, "What?"
If just one employee turns out to be Simeon and is doing a good job, I'm never doing this radio show again.
So this TV channel, you know, it's having a lot of problems and that. They've got to go live, right? He's like, "What am I going to do?" Anyway, for some reason, right, there was a chimp knocking about.
For some reason, that's the key piece of information,
but
but we didn't get it. We didn't get it.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter.
It
doesn't matter. Imagine
Anyway.
if that was in a film. And they're going, well, I can't see where this plot goes. Well, he's just there. He's just there.
So anyway, so he sort of says, get it in a suit, right?
Why?
So, because they're running out of ideas, the clock's ticking, they've got to go live with something.
What do you mean? What he's
What, is it a
presenting?
news programme?
He's
Well,
presenting.
Listen, it's a chat show. I'm not...
They can't
Again,
talk.
don't have a go at me, have a go at John, who sent this in.
Right,
And
be
this
quiet, let's hear it. Let's hear it again.
So anyway, so like I say, so they going live, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. Chimp sat there on the chair. He was like, "Look, let's just get through tonight's show and worry about this tomorrow, right?"
What are you talking about?
Look.
So they've put a chimp in a suit. What was that, handmade, or were the sleeves a bit short on him? You idiot, think.
So anyway, it's sat there, right? And they're going, "Right, here we go. Good luck, everyone," right?
Yeah.
Chimp's there.
What programme is
It's a
this?
chat show.
Whose chat show is it?
Well, it's the monkeys.
I like the fact that
It's the monkeys now, is it?
I like the fact that they put the chimp in a suit. It's like, no one's going to take this chat show seriously if he's not dressed up, if he's not smart.
Slovenly, look at that slovenly ape.
So anyway, let's get to the point of it and that, right? So anyway, they go on, right? It's all going
Didn't
brilliantly.
happen. There's no way this happened.
Here's a fundamental
anyway.
question. How was the chimp asking questions?
Not sure about that bit, but all I've got is the stuff that was on the news site for this. Like I say,
But it's rubbish.
Yeah, but I've given you some facts.
No,
I've told
no.
you there's a TV channel in Moscow that's having problems, right? I've explained that.
No,
bit.
it's rubbish.
They've got rid of presenters. The monkey's sat there, right? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm telling you, it goes all right.
It goes
So anyway,
okay, in case you were worried, Rick.
he's sat there, right?
Absolute
They get
shit.
to the first break, they're like, can't believe it, right? Viewing figures and that, they're loving it, right?
What? No. What? How did they know the viewing figures in the break?
Please do not interrupt the
And
news.
what did the chimp
At
do
the
in
end
the
of it,
first half?
They had a big guest on that week, and what
And what
have
did
you.
he do? Just talk to
was it?
himself?
They walked out.
So Cher comes on,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but say if it is Cher, right?
No,
Right,
what-
the main gaffer is like going, oh, Cher's going to go mental at us, right, for putting
Say
on
it
with
is.
the
No,
monkey.
it is Cher.
No, it's
In
Cher.
his mind, it's Cher sitting there talking to a chimp in a suit.
So anyway, she
and they're
comes
filming
off-
it for Moscow TV, and the ratings are going through the roof.
Presumably there's a translator, because Cher doesn't speak either Russian or chimp.
So she comes off, right, and the bloke who's in charge is like, she's going to go mad. She's going to go mad here. She walks up, she goes, I love that. Right? She said that's one of the best interviews, right? So anyway, they decided, right, it went so well, kept him on. He's still there.
I love the fact that Cher was an idea that Steve threw up, and now she's going, I love that, I love that, I love that, Jim, get me back there. I want to go to Moscow, never mind. Unbelievable.
Don't have a go at me, have a go at John, but, if you've got any monkey news, send it in.
Carl, if you could have a superpower, like Superman, what would your superpower be?
Can I suggest consciousness?
Yeah.
Can I have the power of thought?
Remember, you've already got opposable thumbs. So cross that one off the list.
Oh, go on, Carl.
There are so many to choose from. Telepathy, X-ray vision.
Flight, invisibility,
Choose it wisely.
strength, intelligence.
But why have I been picked?
Oh, for God's sake!
No, but I'm just saying.
It's Rob's question
No,
for
no,
you.
But I'd just say, does anyone else want this? Or, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
No,
what do you
because-
wish you
no,
could do that's
no,
impossible is
because-
the question.
no, because-
What? What do you mean?
Because with that comes a responsibility. Is what
With
I'm saying.
enormous power does come great responsibility.
So, would you like Spidey senses? Is that what you're saying?
Come on, Carl. You know what these superheroes because they can.
I know, but
they can
always
freeze things.
They're
they-
never happy, are they? Do you know what I mean? Spider-Man that wanted to tell that girl that he could climb walls and that. He's like, I can't. Superman never told Lewis and that.
Who's Lewis? Who's Lewis?
Lewis.
Who's Lewis?
It's just a pen pal of Superman's.
Lewis, his little secret chum. Yeah. All right, Superman. Hello, Lewis. What are you doing? Superman. Who are you? I can't tell you, Lewis. Brilliant.
Hulk, he wasn't happy.
Oh, he wasn't happy. It's true. He's got a theme. He has got a theme. There's not many happy superheroes, are
But
there?
leaving aside the superheroes you're already aware of,
Yeah.
what superpower do you want? You don't have to fight crime with it, Carl. Let me remind you of some of the other things. Invisibility.
All the time, though, or can I sort of turn that on and off?
Let's say you could turn it on and off. Would that interest you?
Yeah. I'll have that.
Right. Okay, and what would you do with this power of invisibility?
Just sort of wander about and that, just not get seen.
It's a brilliant power. It's a brilliant. And it's put to such brilliant use. It's brilliant. Well done.
And why would you want to walk around and not be seen in that? What would you gain from that?
Don't know. You could sort of go in shops when they shut, so you don't have to go.
How would you get
crowds.
in?
Just get in just before they lock up.
Oh yeah. How would you get out?
Wait till the morning.
Brilliant.
So hang on. So that's your use of invisibility. They found the power of invisibility. You want to sneak into. Bear in mind. No, hang on. You want to sneak into HMV, right? Wait for 12 hours and then buy something.
I love it.
Just so that you don't have to be in there with other people.
Do you know what? I don't want it. I don't want a power
Why not?
because I just don't think it'll do me any good. I think it's more of a hindrance.
I love this. It's like, just think of his presents. We've given you a go, a trip into space, and the chance to be invisible.
Not happy with any of them.
Yeah, what he wants is a voucher for HMV.
Yeah. He just wants some tokens for a record shop. Just going through a few more of these emails. This one's from Kent from Nova Scotia, Canada. He says, Carl, he's wondering if you've got any personal mantras that you could pass along. For instance, he reminds us of Ben Franklin's famous mantra, waste not, want not.
Who said that?
Ben Franklin.
What did he do? What was his job?
Benjamin Franklin was a well-respected American politician from the 1800s. He was a sort of thinker, a philosopher, a scientist, deeply respected. Also a big political figure. He features on the dollar bill or the $10 bill or something. Yeah. So he's one of the great sort of American Enlightenment thinkers. Right. And he came up with the mantra, waste not, want not.
You must know waste not, want not. I mean, that's just...
Do you understand the phrase waste not, want not?
No, not really, no. What does it mean? I've never used it.
It's like, don't throw stuff away because you might need it, and therefore... You won't be wanting anything because you didn't throw it away.
So he was a bit of a hoarder.
If you don't waste food, for instance, then you won't...
He's a bit of a hoarder!
For God's sake.
No, but I'm just saying, you know, he's a man in power. Is that the best thing he ever said?
No, I'm sure he came up with many, many profound things.
Why is that one
he did
remembered?
Experiments in electricity and conducting electricity, all sorts.
But that impresses me more, inventing electricity, than someone...
He didn't invent electricity.
Wait a minute! Don't impress you more than what?
Just saying waste not, want not. I don't think it's that good. It's not even catchy.
How would you word it?
I'd just say, whoa, don't be chucking that out. You might need that later.
Don't be chucking that out. You might need that later. Karl Pilkington.
Whereas some would argue that waste not, want not is perhaps a little bit more pithy, a little bit more...
We should go through great sayings and phrases and say
if he could... Well, firstly, does he know what they mean? And then secondly, can he improve them?
That would be brilliant.
We'll do that next time.
All right, let's see. Okay, Winston Churchill. Never have so few done so much for so many. What do you think of that? How would you... Do you know what that means?
I'd just be annoyed if I was one of them who gave a lot for a few or whatever, right?
No, gave a lot for so many. If you were one of those few that gave so much for so many, i.e. it means these few good men, their actions freed the world. They freed the world. They have an impact on every person in the world, and they were few brave men, and that's what he's saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was one of them men who gave up his life, right, I'd want a name check. I don't want to be bungled in with everyone else who is saying a load of blokes gave it their lives. Well done on that. See you later.
That's brilliant.
Did you just say bungled in?
Bungled in, yeah.
You made up a word.
You don't want to be bungled in.
You made up a word. See, that's it, you see. We've been looking for it. That's original. That's Karl Pilkington. I don't want to be bungled in. Do you remember when Jimmy thought that Paralympics stood for Paraplegic Olympics?
The Paralympics?
Yeah, it means Parallel Olympics.
Yeah.
He thought it meant Paraplegic Olympics. That would be a good site, wouldn't it? Mainly blow football. Right. Okay. So, what was that thing I told you to look up in the week?
You were saying, I don't believe you. Were going on about, we were talking about the half man, half woman.
Yeah.
And you were saying...
You can get a sex change on the NHS, just to see what you say about that. Did you look it up?
I didn't, because I think I was wasting my time. I don't think you
I'm
can
giving
have that
all
done.
these things. Little player records, you're annoying me now.
You wouldn't do that. You do.
You've annoyed Steve. You've annoyed Steve on air.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's just too late, Carl.
But we were talking about other stuff as well. I mean, you know, talking about operations and that. You were saying, you know, can you have a sex change done on the NHS and that?
No, you can.
Well, you say you can. I think that's a bit... It's not that important to have done, I don't think.
Well, it depends if you desperately want it. It depends if you feel that you're born actually a different sex.
Right. And then you went on to say there's other things that are done. Get this, Steve. Someone, if the cat's got a bad liver...
Kidney.
Right. Bad kidney. Can have it done for £5,000.
Yeah, you can have a kidney operation.
But what's wrong with that? If you've got £5,000 you want to waste it on a cat, then fine.
Get another one. We went through loads of cats, I've told you before, as a kid, we got through loads. It's not worth it, and there's no cat that is that amazing that you'd go, gonna miss that one, it's never gonna be the same, cause
What do you mean? What would it have to be able to do to be worth it? Well, it's normally to do with people's affection for their cat. They've had the pet for many years. What do you mean it should be able to juggle? Or
No,
do impressions, and that's why it's worth £5 grand?
Supposing there was a fella, right, he feels he was born a woman, he's not happy, right? He doesn't want this he's got a knob and a couple of testicles that he does not want, right? He wants a lovely pair of tits and a minge, right? And he finds out that he gets a cut price, he gets, you know, a cut price sort of operation, a dodgy backstreet, transsexual maker, right? £5 grand, knockdown price £5 grand. It's done with a blunt knife and some chloroform, right? But
why have you got to have it all done?
what? You mean just like have the knob trimmed and wear a bra?
Well, yeah, I mean, are you saying if you have it all done you get some sort of offer, if you give them something?
No, I was being flippant. I'm saying, I was trying to get down to £5 grand. Supposing there was a fellow who had £5 grand to give away, right? Some old woman with her cat is gonna die. Or some fella who wants his knob chopped off and a lovely pair of tits put on. Who would you give the £5 grand to?
So, hang on a minute, so there's a fella who wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
And there's a woman who's got an ill cat.
Yeah.
Ooh. You see, I'd be annoyed. Is this £5 grand? Is this my savings, or...?
No, just, you get given £5 grand, and you go, but you've got to give it to a charity of your choice. And it's got to be one of them. You give them £5 grand.
I'll tell you what I'd do.
What?
I'd find out what the cat looks like, get a replacement, right? Say it's had the op. She's loving it, thinking it's happy again.
Yeah.
Give the fella the money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, so you're basically saying that you'd rather have the bloke have his knob cut off and stuff than
I'd have to have a chat with him first and say, what's your problem? And say, why do you need this doing? And
I think they go through that. I think they go to counselling and live with a woman for
like a second opinion thing. I'd just be saying, right, are you sure?
Yeah.
But £5 grand on a cat, even, it can only be for people who have got loads of money, right? And it's like, well, £5 grand, it's nothing.
Well, I think this debate will rage on. Should we play a record and come back to this? Think about it, though.
Yeah. Bit of White Stripes.
Placebo. Bitter End on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. Karl, you're looking all flustered and confused again.
Still just sort of don't get it.
What don't you get?
Well, that's a long list, Rick.
Yeah.
The, you know, if you have your...
Knob cut off.
Yeah.
It's because they feel like they're actually born a woman, and they're not living right. They can't live properly with all these things, you know. Well, I mean, there are people that are genetically the other gender. They've just grown, you know. There was one woman actually who was a scientist researching it and found out genetically she was a man. She had Y chromosomes. But this is something different. This is both psychological and everything else.
Sometimes it's that thing again, isn't it? You can't always have, you know, what you want. It's like, I'd like to have hair. Do you know what I mean?
But it's a bit easier. You can wear a wig. You can't go around really. Well, you can put on, you know, false breasts and tuck it in.
That's just it as well, isn't it? You see, you say, you know, you could have the operation done and that, and yeah, you might sort of feel as free as a woman down below and that, but at the end of the day, you still look like a fella.
Yeah, here's a bra and a split tennis ball.
No.
They'd be just like Auntie Nora.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Well, yeah, but it's about their outward appearance as well and how they feel publicly. Don't forget, a transsexual, it's not a transvestite. This isn't just a builder in a dress. They have the hormone replacement as well, so they get estrogen, so and electrolysis, so they have, you know, their face looks different, they don't go bald, they're slighter, they you know what I mean? They're the real thing. A transsexual is now the real thing. Biologically and politically and...
But they'll still be a man, won't they?
Well, it'd be embarrassing if they don't tell their new partner and there's pictures of them, you know, down the pub when they were 24, but you probably sort of get over that, don't you? They go, "Is it a fella with a beard drinking the yard of ale?" That was me.
Well, interesting story.
Yeah.
Probably should have told you this before the honeymoon.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can have all that done, right? There's stuff, you know, you could have your bits done, right? You can have, like, false teeth, but you know that when you see an old person with a good set of teeth, it's like, well, they're false. There's no way you've got good teeth like that if you were brought up in, like, the 30s.
But what would you do if Suzanne said, look, I've got a terrible secret, and she showed you a picture of this kid, this little boy, growing up, you know, playing football, and then the pictures stop at 20, just before you met her, and, she goes, and she shows you a nice pair of bollocks in a jar, she goes, they were mine.
Well, first thing is he'd take back the gloves you bought her last week.
Would you go, oh, I can't go out with you now? Or would you say, well, you're the same person? I've blown his mind.
Yeah,
I really have freaked him out there.
She is into sport.
Eh? Should we play a record while you give her a call?
No, but look, what I'm saying is right, it doesn't matter what you have done, we can wrap this up here, because I've got it sorted, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter what you have done, at the end of the day, it's obvious that you've had it done. If you're a fella and you've been changed to a woman, I could spot you, right? If...
You can't, though.
I tell you what, I was at Suzanne's mum and dad's, right, up north last week, and I went to the off licence, right?
Yeah.
And I went in there, never seen this fella before, right? As soon as I walk in, I eye him up behind the counter, I go, alright, mate.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
I notice he's got a wig on, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was, I kind of looked and I thought, yeah, it's a wig, whatever. And then, I thought, I wonder if it is, and as I got to the till, I said, how much is that? He said, you know, 50 pence, I said, great. And as he turned to the till...
Were you buying Suzanne a gift?
As he turned to the till and he did that sort of angle, you got the profile, you see the bit sticking out of the back, you go, that's a wig.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. And it's like a little, it just, the last inch just lifts away from the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, everybody who goes in that shop will probably know him as having a wig and that. He keeps him happy, but everybody knows. So, what I'm saying is, it's like...
But could I just say, transsexuals put in a little bit more effort than a fella who's plonked a rug on top and held it down with some duct tape. Do you know what I mean? You know, the only giveaway often with a transsexual is the big hands. They can't do anything about that. That's the only thing, you know.
Right,
But I mean, transvestites are different, you know, they are builders in the dress. You go in a supermarket, you turn around, you see a 6-foot woman, huge head, you go, alright love, you know what I mean? You know, down below, she's packing more than us 3 put together.
That's what I'm saying.
But, you know what I mean, that's one thing. If Eddie Izzard, right, you're meeting Eddie Izzard, right, who likes to pop on a dress now and again, right, what's the politics with that? Do you go, because he walks in, he's all in evening gown, and he goes, alright Carl, and you go, alright Eddie, and it's in a busy pub, and you go, oh, why is he, and you go, do you say, do you want a pint of bitter, and slap him on the back like you would a mate, or do you go, that's lovely, that's a lovely dress, do you know what I mean, what do you do? What do you do with a transvestite?
Would you compliment a transvestite?
On their lovely dress?
If he was wearing a nice dress? In the same way that you would if Suzanne was wearing
probably
a nice
in a
frock?
different way, I'd probably say, that dress, you know, looks nice. Be even nicer on a woman.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So you try and change the way they think?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd want to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of them things I can't get my head around, to be honest, right? I can handle hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah.
Is it true to say that you've never been able to handle a transvestite?
So I'm just going to add that to the list then, Carl, of things you can't figure out. It's like 4 volumes.
Do you know, the other week when I came up with, like, a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that?
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was, he was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is, people live till 78, I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach,
Right.
like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory, it wasn't an idea, it was the ramblings of a mental
You're
case.
saying it's stupid, but someone's emailed in and said, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Just saying, if that's a no, right, I've been thinking
It is a
about,
no.
what about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah.
Go on.
Somehow, I don't know how
A
yet.
kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child gives birth to an old man.
No. What I'm saying is, right,
Go on.
work the other way round.
Come on then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this is notes.
So-
when he hands it into the Nobel people,
Yeah.
and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, so you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
So what happens?
She sort of wakes up,
Amazing.
right? And she works the other way. So like she might be 77,
Yep.
and then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
No
I'm
idea.
really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said. This is madder than the old lady with the pit like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This
it's
is
like,
this is it. Let me just tell you the
Go on, then.
ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die at the age of
78.
9 months,
What?
at the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of
You're
9?
not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no
So
fear.
you missed out a bit here. So this woman, what, literally gets younger and younger?
I think
Yeah.
when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to her years. Then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, "Right, back you go."
No, but forget all that bit.
I'll forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So
is,
she died, and she doesn't remember all her. This is a new life, is it?
let me just leave you with this.
Right. You're talking shit. Explain yourself.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then, we'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that all right? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's. I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
A friend of mine got a gift, or rather gave it as a gift. I don't know if you've been familiar with these. It's a charity organisation, and you go on their website or you phone them up, and you can give someone else the gift of, say, a goat. And it's a sort of goodwill thing, you know what I mean?
So
People-
you buy an African family a goat
that will
it's,
help them for years.
and it's
to come.
like you're saying, well, I would have bought you a present.
Yeah,
but
I've used that money wisely.
Yeah, so it's almost like they've given
Exactly.
the present. They've given the goat.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea. But as soon as he told me about it, I thought to myself straight away, knowing Carl's views on charity and giving,
Yeah.
I wondered what his views would be.
Well, are they happy with the present over there? Like the people who are getting it?
You're an idiot. What, you think an African family wakes up and there's a little goat with a ribbon tied round it, and they go, oh, look what Santa brought us.
Look, and that mince pie's gone and that glass of milk.
You're such an idiot.
No, but what I'm saying is, does that family want a goat?
Yes.
But why?
It's not they want a goat, it's they need a goat. Do you think... What
Alright,
do you
forget
think
it.
this organisation is?
Just arbitrarily giving goats to
They're
people.
going to say, oh, I wanted Nintendo. What are you thinking?
What I'm saying is, right, let me put myself in their shoes. Well,
This'll be
they
a
haven't got
first.
any. But say I'm one of them, right, over there. Right, I'm sat there, it's Christmas Day, right? I open it up, open the present, little goat there, right? Now, if I was one of them, I'd be going, not another mouth to feed. At the end of the day, there isn't enough food to go round for themselves, never mind a goat. Don't they say, like, having a dog and that is quite expensive? Sometimes they say, you know, what with all the injections you've got to give it.
Well, I'm assuming it's all above board. The goat's had its injections. That's what some of the money goes towards. It's just a way of redirecting cash.
But the thing is, why do they want that goat? What's the main reason? What does a goat give you?
Milk.
Right. Now, wouldn't it be easy to just send them a bottle of milk? Without all the hassle and the headaches that come with it. That's all I'm saying. And the other thing is, think about the goat. That was happy over here. Suddenly, it's on barren land. No grass.
I'm good at best! What do you mean?
He didn't send a goat from here.
I'm saying, who's happy at the end of this, right? You've got a fella who hasn't got a present over here because the mate bought him a goat, right? So yeah, let's do this properly. So there's a tick. He's not happy, right? Then you've got the person who's opened it, who, like you said, wanted something else, right? It's a goat. They go, who's going to look after this, right? So tick, they're not happy. And then you've got the goat going, what am I doing here?
Definitely love this, surely. Have you started seeing this now? Virgin are starting plugging Virgin Galactic. I think it's something like 200,000 quid, and you'll get a chance to go in a space shuttle into space.
Carl, thoughts?
Going to space?
Wouldn't it be a fascinating experience to go into space and look back at the Earth?
I mean, at what point are you all meant to be happy? Do you know what I mean? You're floating about up there, and because you don't get out, do you?
What, you mean to do some duty-free shopping?
I'm just talking, you don't go floating about, do you? You stay in your seat.
Well, they probably let you move around on the shuttle.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about getting out. For me, when you go on
you want
holiday...
to get out into space?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. When you go on holiday, the flight bit isn't the best bit of the holiday, is it? That's the bit you've got to do. So what I'm saying is you've got to stay on this and then you go back home. So you don't take luggage, right? I don't see the point.
Right, so you're there, you're sat in your own clothes for the whole time, same clothes the whole time.
But I don't understand what is the point.
I think it's the view. I think it's two things. I think it's the view and being able to be part of an exclusive club. I went into space. It's all that thing about man conquering nature, and you're one of that elite few that have managed to pop up, see the world from a distance that no one else can see it from, and then pop down.
All that way just for the view.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I mean, there's a lot of other places I haven't seen anyway. Right, before I think about that, I think if you've done everywhere, I haven't been to Scotland yet. Right?
Right, yeah.
I'm not being funny, but do you know what I mean? So just have a look in your back garden before you go looking in someone else's.
In space?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would make it a trip worthwhile for you? I mean, if you did go into space, if we gave it to you free of charge, we said, Carl, go up into
I know
space.
the answer. I know the answer to this, Steve. He's thinking, I'd like to meet some aliens that can talk like I do,
Yeah.
and I can understand them, and they can tell me something. Like what? Oh, they met God, he was all right. That's the sort of thing, that's what he's going to say. He'd like them to look like monkeys in spacesuits.
Yeah.
That would be his ideal thing. He'd like to go to the planet of the
He'd like to
apes.
go to the planet of the apes.
He
Yeah,
would
absolutely.
love
They
to
could
go
arrange
to
that.
Look, he's nodding. He's
Yeah.
nodding. Thoughts, Carl?
Well, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
What would be brilliant?
Seeing a little alien and that, having a chat with him, finding out what's been going on.
What's been going on?
No. But don't you think that, like, I mean, if you bought me that as a present, right,
Yeah.
either of you,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that happy. For me, that's a little bit like...
Well, that's annoying because we've got you a trip
We
to
just
space
pulled
and a
together.
goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, I am interested in sort of going on another planet, right? Not,
Carl, you are on another planet, mate.
no, but do you know what I mean? It would be quite sort of interesting.
How do you think you'd get there?
Well, yeah, you'd go on a rocket and stuff, but what I'm saying is, at least you know when you get there, you're getting out, you're having a bit of a wander. But I wouldn't be happy in just the journey bit of it. That's all I'm saying.
That's great, isn't it?
But the thing is, right, because I was looking into it a bit, because I was reading about the Virgin transit
Yeah.
thing, right? And I was reading something that in 1971, right, 3 of them went up there. There was one bloke in the rocket, right? The other 2 wandered off, had a walkabout, seeing what rocks they can find. Right? And that bloke who was in the rocket, right, he was the loneliest man ever in the world.
I don't know what to do. What that was. I don't know what to do. I don't know if that's some sort of profound poetry or I don't. Do you know what I think he's trying to say? He's trying to say he was, by definition, a human furthest away from all other human contact.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, okay. No, you said loneliest. Loneliest evokes an emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like he started crying and writing poetry and listening to Morrissey records.
But what I was thinking is, do you think when he got up in the morning, he still bothered to put his clothes on?
That's the first thing that came into your mind.
No,
when
just
you
because
pictured him
I
in
always,
there.
you know, at the end of the day, even if, like, my girlfriend Suzanne's out at work and that, I'm not happy walking about with everything out, because you never know what's going to happen. I just mean, you know, you never know if someone's going to turn up.
No, I don't like what I don't like. No, I always pop some pants on or a towel, even if I'm
not
alone.
always. Because I've knocked on your door when you've been stood there with.
No, he's taking his trousers off.
I did it especially knowing that you were there. I've done it especially to annoy you.
Right.
Yeah, so.
But do you know what I mean? Do you think he was walking about the rocket with his tackle out, or did he go, well, you know, no one's watching here?
Do you reckon it floats up or down?
Well, if you are the man who was up in a space rocket and was for a short period the loneliest man in the world, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you did with your time, how lonely you felt, and also did you float around with your cock and balls out?
Coldplay, Speed of Sound. Steve, I know you like an insight to my musical taste, but that's my favourite Coldplay track of all time. I just thought I'd just throw that in.
Not a fan of clocks?
No, I think I've overplayed Parachutes a little bit, and but that's my favourite one. I like it.
I'm afraid to say I'm a bit of a Philistine when it comes to Coldplay. That sounds the same as all the other ones. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, you'll have to meet these boys one day.
Yeah, well, I'll tell them to their face. I don't care. A little bit rock and roll. I don't care.
Well, I'm Ricky Gervais. That little funny little Wurzel type voice over there is Stephen Merchant, and with us our producer Karl Pilkington. All right.
Whenever we say producer, of course, that is in inverted commas.
Yeah.
Done with the fingers.
Well, he didn't have it. I wanted to play some off my iPod today to record it because they didn't have it here. It's a great track called Anthony and the Johnsons. He didn't even have the lead. He went, right, it's difficult. And he went, is it any good? I went, yeah, it's really good. He went, well, why haven't we got it here already then? Oh, that's the paradigm, is it? If X-Man hasn't got it, it's no good. Four Non-Blondes doing well, is it? That's still in the cupboard, is it? Unbelievable. We're a little bit annoyed today, aren't we, actually?
I'm really annoyed.
Yeah, all that stuff we did last week, that Landauer sent us some sparkling wine, and we thought, right, you shamelessly plugged it.
Yeah.
How many times you mentioned it?
I
Like 20 times?
20 times.
The finale was hitting Carl on the head with a cork. That's on the website, by the way.
Okay.
RickyGervais.com. Go there and see Carl being hit in the head with a cork, right?
Yeah.
We said, look, send us free stuff, we'll talk about it.
Nothing. The cupboard
literally
is
nothing.
empty. The cupboard is bare.
No one has thought, I tell you what, there's those guys from The Office.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's be honest, Rick, we are taste makers. We're opinion formers, you and I.
Yeah.
And you'd have thought if anyone was going to send us some free stuff,
yeah.
you know, it makes
Unbelievable.
me fume. And do you know what it is? It's because PR people and that, they've realised no one's listening.
But not only are we going against all our principles and losing our dignity just for some free stuff.
And integrity.
And integrity, yeah.
that's right,
We're going against excellent policy, because obviously they would have got thousands of pounds for Landauer to be mentioned last week, 20 times. No, it wouldn't. It's 40 quid, isn't it? It's 40 quid.
Yeah.
For 40 quid for a 9-minute advert.
Exactly.
So advertise your quality stuff here.
Yeah.
Jeff's Garage. Cheaper than some other garages. Anyway, actually,
Didn't we play an advert once for a tattoo parlour? Yeah! Do you remember that? I'm sure we played an advert for a tattoo parlour. What tattoo parlour can afford to advertise on a radio station? Unless it's a tin pot one like this.
Oh, God! Oh, got some good music today, though, Steve.
Oh, really? I hope so. I'll be the judge of that. Go on, what have you got?
Well, AC/DC. Oh, have you got a bit of bare skin? You need colouring in? Come along to Ron's Bike Shop and Tattoo Parlour. He'll write Mum on your hand and give you Harley a tune-up while you wait. I can't believe no one wants to advertise with us.
And that only costs, what, 20 quid?
Yeah.
And they play that
I mean,
endlessly.
I turned down millions of pounds to do adverts because I think it's beneath me. And I thought last week I'll give a little bit back. I'll excite all these people who want to get a bit.
Nothing.
All I'm thinking is, Steve, either our cachet's gone down, no one wants us anymore, right? Which is impossible, surely.
I would have thought so.
Or we're on a tin pot station that no one listens to. Now,
Ding! Correct answer. Correct answer.
Unbelievable. I'm having to hold on the pop shield of this mic because it keeps falling off.
It's embarrassing. This
It's
whole room is
awful.
embarrassing.
I mean, oh, God. Well, Carl, what are your thoughts? Why have you stuck it out here?
Nothing better coming in, I would have thought.
Well, I'll tell you why, because you're always on holiday. You don't do a lot. You get paid, you know, well, doesn't he, really? He's a moaning. I mean, he doesn't try and get on at all. He doesn't deal with people. He moans about everything. And, you know, so he's...
I'm alright, I've got my own little room and that.
Yeah. Like a cage. It is like a cage, isn't it? And he can shut the door, shut the door. If people walk past, he can shut the door. He doesn't want them looking in. He's like a miserable old chimp. We noticed today how much he's simian, isn't he?
He's very strange, actually. Maybe we should try and get a picture on the website, because Carl's arms are particularly chimp-like. It's very, very strange.
Because he's got that sort of, he's got long downy hair. It's
and
not
the
like
long extended knuckles.
Yeah, yeah, and his totally round face that sort of the chin goes back and the dome of his cranium. I think, quite seriously, I know we sort of share about 98.5% of our genetic material with bonobos and chimpanzees, but I think he's got a little bit more.
Yeah.
I honestly think he's a little bit of a throwback. Just his line, they just kept to this sort of really the ugliest one in the cave.
Yeah.
And the tree, and he really didn't. He didn't come out of it. I'm not saying you are, you know, I don't think you, well, you are. Yeah, you're chimp-like.
No, it does annoy me. My hair annoys me on my body and that. Because I've got like hair on my little toes and that.
Have you?
And on the legs.
Would you, see your little toes, can you pick things up with them?
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Well, that's the finale of this week's show. We're going to see if he can play a record and put the fader up.
From a tyre. While swinging in a tyre.
Just using his hairy toes.
Yeah.
I've sort of got hair all the way, but then it just runs out where it should be.
On the
I
top of your
know.
head.
Yeah.
And is this part of the reason why you're always uncomfortable about, you know, being nude or around naked people? Is that partly the reason, do you think, because you look so grotesque?
Well, when I'm on holiday, I don't really like wandering about without a top on unless, like, it's a quiet beach or whatever.
Sure. So what would you normally wear?
I just have like a nice sort of light, summery, sort of linen shirt, maybe, just a few top buttons open.
Yeah.
But I don't like, the naked body isn't that nice anyway, is it? You know what I mean? Whatever it is, if you're a cat and you're shaved, you don't look that nice. You know what I mean? But with
I think you'll find a cat is naked even with its fur on. Cats don't wear clothes.
No, but what I mean is, a bald cat isn't that good. You know it does me head in that I'm bald. I'm not, if I could have hair, it would be nice, but that's like...
Would you prefer animals to wear clothes like Mickey Mouse does? Or Goofy?
You know that I don't like nudist and all that, we've done it.
But don't you think sometimes you could sort of like, maybe, fancify a little bit? Like, if there was such a thing as an ape, salon, and there isn't, Carl. There isn't, right? Would you give a orangutan a trim, maybe start with hair? Because some of those look like they're going bald, but they've got a comb over,
They
don't
should
they?
just have a shave. When it's like that. That's what I did. Take it back.
And the underarms as well. Yeah, they've really got a lot of underarm hair. Even the women ones.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I know. I don't know. I don't even know why they breed. I don't know. I don't know how they get their laid from those horrible old, hairy ginger orangutans.
Yeah, they are particularly grim, some of those.
I know, yeah.
The big ones.
I know.
Ginger ones.
Yeah.
You can't be happy, can they? What is that? Where did that happen, the ginger thing? Why do people give them, like, a hard time on that?
Well, you just gave them a hard time then, so why did you do it? You were just flying in, were you, to
people do sort of give... I don't understand why, but ginger people get quite a bit of stick, and I've never understood it.
No, I was doing it. I don't know why.
They do, don't they?
I don't know. It might be historical. It might have been because I'm sure they don't everywhere in the world. I'm sure it's probably.
No, they are. They're always. I've said to you about even like ginger cats are always fat because they're sort of sick of it, probably.
Wait. Ginger cats, what do you mean
when
they're
you see a ginger cat,
they've been eating, like, because they're
they're
upset,
fed up
they've been bullied.
You never see, like, a thin, happy ginger cat running about. He's always overweight and looking a bit fed up. It's just a good point, isn't it?
I wouldn't say it was a good point, Carl, it's a point.
So last week, the Chinese don't age well. Now, anything ginger, including cats, are sick of it.
No, but I'm just saying...
Are you ginger? Would you like to take issue with any of Carl's points? 83 XFM is the text. You can text us. Maybe you've seen a thin ginger cat.
I'm not having a go, though. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's weird how people give him a hard time. And it's... if I could have hair, I'd go for ginger hair rather than being bald.
Really?
Landed from Ben Folds on XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Had a fax. Never mind champagne and freebies like that. Just forget that. We're not doing that anymore. It didn't work, okay? But we are still in demand. Got a fax here, right? So guy says, I produce a programme for the BAS scientists, right? Wintering in Antarctica. Now, what this bloke is saying is, there are scientists, right? researching in Antarctica, and they're already locked away and sort of like out of touch because they can't get to them, right? But they're soon going to be living in 24-hour darkness, because through the midsummer here, it's darkness for 24 hours for like 3 months, and they're totally cut off, and he's trying to get some stuff together, and he wants us to record a message, and it said, every year, they choose a celebrity to do something, a message, of their choice. They had Rolf Harris, David Attenborough, Jonathan Ross. This year, Ricky is the popular choice. So I'm up there with Rolf Harris, David Attenborough and Jonathan Ross in terms of the vote amongst some scientists stuck in a hut in Antarctica for 3 months.
I think they've just got cabin fever.
So that's another poll I've won. A British Antarctic scientist in a hut poll.
I was trapped in a little room with several other men for 3 months of pitch darkness.
Sexist.
Or indeed women.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why I'd ever want a message from Rolf Harris. Why would Rolf? I mean, David Attenborough, fascinating.
Well, I assume it is it's the animal. I assume they're researching penguins or something, aren't they? If they're stuck there, or maybe seismic activity, or maybe polar shift. I don't know.
Possibly if you were researching kangaroos.
Yeah. Oh, well, he knows about all animals, doesn't he? You can take him a budgie with a broken wing and he'll sort it out. Or he knows a man who does.
Sure.
He can, he'll sort that out for you. And he'll do a picture of it.
Yeah.
While you wait.